Today is Fat Tuesday. Are you having a pączki? Today is Tuesday, March 4th. From Ave Maria Radio, this is Michigan Mornings. Good morning from Ishpeming. I'm Matthew Handley. Today is the memorial of St. Casimir. Let's begin with this news. Pope Francis underwent 2 bronchoscopies yesterday after he had difficulty breathing. The Holy See press office says that the Pope was alert and that his prognosis remains reserved. Back here in the U.S. and in our neighbors in Canada, Ontario's premier says Canada is set to retaliate against tariffs the U.S. plans to impose on his country.
I will stop shipments going into the U.S. for nickel. It will shut down manufacturing because 50% of the nickel you use is coming out of Ontario.
Doug Ford told NBC News the tariffs will be an absolute disaster for both countries, and Canada will respond like the U.S. has never seen before. He also threatened to shut down the electricity that goes to the U.S. The 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods are set to begin today. The trial for a Monroe County woman accused of drunk driving and crashing into a boat club, killing 2 kids, is now underway. Marcella Chidester is charged with second-degree murder, operating under the influence of alcohol causing death, and operating under the influence of alcohol causing serious injury. Opening statements began yesterday with prosecutors arguing Chidester had a blood alcohol content more than twice the legal limit, while her defense argued she had a seizure and has no memory of the crash. The trial is expected to last for a week or 2. The father of the Oxford school shooter is asking for a new trial. The attorney for James Crumbley argues secret proffer agreements were made with witnesses that impacted the fairness of the original trial. The motion also argues that Crumbley's son should have been made to testify at the trial as well. Oakland County Circuit Judge Cheryl A. Matthews has not yet ruled on the motion or a similar motion from Jennifer Crumbley. Ford Motor Company says its sales fell almost 9% in February compared to last year. The automaker is retooling a plant in Kentucky for new Ford Expeditions and Lincoln Navigators. However, the brand currently has more 2024 models sitting on lots than its competitors. The report comes a day before those 25% tariffs are set to go into effect, as we discussed earlier. Ford CEO Jim Farley says the tariffs would, quote, blow a hole in the U.S. industry that we have never seen. You're listening to your local news and weather on Ave Maria Radio. Stay tuned. Your local weather is coming up next, and then we'll talk about the history of the Polish treat, the pączki. Now this.
Do you have a teenager at home who's full of potential? Too often the world is telling you to be content with mediocrity instead of raising respectful and responsible young adults with strong character. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Ray. If you need some help, not only to navigate those teen years, but to really enjoy them, check out my book, Standing Strong, Good Discipline Makes Great Teens, as well as my other books on the store page at AveMariaRadio.net.
We are looking at scattered rain showers in the Motor City today. Our high will reach 49. It'll be a little bit breezy as well. Tonight, the rain continues after 7 p.m. Our low will dip to 43. Tomorrow will be rainy as well, and it will be warmer. Our high will be near 58. Thursday, we have a chance of snow in the morning as the temperature cools. It'll be cloudy with a high near 39. Friday, we have a chance of rain and snow in the afternoon with temperatures near 42. Today is Fat Tuesday, which means a lot of people are going to be enjoying a Polish treat called the pączki. Dr. John Razlowski joined Vanessa Dan-Hagarmo yesterday on Epiphany to talk about this sweet treat. In the Saginaw Valley today, we are going to see some rain throughout the day. Our high will be 48. It'll be a little bit breezy as well. Tonight, the rain continues and lows will drop to 42. Tomorrow will be rainy as well and warmer. Our high will be near 59. Thursday will be cloudy through mid-morning, and then it will clear later on. It'll be cooler with a high near 36. Friday, we may have a chance of snow in the afternoon. It'll be mostly cloudy with a high near 42.
As most people in the Detroit area probably know, the greater metro Detroit, southeast Michigan area know that this is a filled donut. We don't like to call it donut, but I think that's maybe the closest. But it's a pastry that is deep fried with filling. And it could be any number of fruit. Usually fruit fillings are the norm, but its origin goes back hundreds of years. Originally, they were not filled. Back in the old days, they didn't always have the resources to put filling in them. But they were always a treat that came before Lent to mark the end of the period before Lent, and it's sort of a little bit of a last hurrah before the Lenten season and the fasting began.
And so what was the original flavor when they didn't always have flavors, but when they did start including flavors, was there an original flavor, John?
No, there were several.
Okay.
Usually a fruit flavor. It could be a strawberry. In Poland, one of the favorite flavors, and you occasionally can find it here in the U.S. is called rose hip, or it's called a dzika rosa in Polish. It's called wild rose. And it's a really nice flavor. But nowadays, obviously people can put just about any flavor you want in there, and but it really does. So there isn't an original. A lot of them were made without filling, so it was just a slightly sweet dough, and usually not with as much sugar as we tend to put in things today. But it did have usually some honey or some other sweet flavor in it to remind us of the end of the period before Lent.
Well, I hope you enjoy one of those from your local bakeries today in the area. You can catch that entire conversation in the audio archives at AveMariaRadio.net. Just go to yesterday's episode of Epiphany and catch Epiphany weekdays at noon here on Ave Maria Radio. I'm Matthew Handley. That's going to do it for this edition of Michigan Mornings on a Tuesday. Lord willing, I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.